everyone. Welcome back to week 9. This week we're going to very briefly touch on educator led literacy. Last week we spoke about child led literacy, and I was just thinking that I should explain this a little bit further. That the child led literacy that I discussed with you last week, it involved educators as well. So you might be thinking, like, child led literacy, well, it feels like the educator was doing a lot, which the educator was doing quite a bit. But the main sort of focus is that the child was still in the driver's seat and was, you know, the educator was using the child's interests, their questions, their inquiries to further progress them in their literacy development. If that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. It makes sense when I'm saying it. So hopefully it makes sense to you. If you have any questions about anything we talked about last week, please let me know. So I'm very briefly going to touch on just a couple of programs that would be considered educator-led literacy, and they're used in many early learning classrooms, from childcare to school. So the programs that I'm just going to touch on very briefly are Jolly Phonics, Heggerty, and Learning Without Tears. And some of the resources that I shared with you this week also contain information about these programs. So take a listen to me and go ahead and take a read through the resources this week for more information. Okay, so first we're going to briefly touch on Jolly Phonics, which you may have heard of. It is a multisensory program for teaching, reading, and writing used in over 150 countries. Wow. It uses a systematic synthetic phonics approach. It teaches 42 letter sounds, including digraphs like sh and through songs, stories, and actions to make learning engaging and accessible for diverse learners. So you can think about these programs as I'm talking about them, and go back in your mind to when we talked about multimodal literacy, and just reflect on that. There's nothing that you need to submit to me, but just think about that and how we had talked about that before, and how some of these programs include different means of accessing literacy. The program focuses on 5 core skills: learning the letter sounds, forming letters, blending sounds to read, segmenting words for spelling, and learning tricky words with irregular spellings. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about Heggerty, which is something that's a little bit newer to me, but some of the schools in the Niagara region do use Heggerty, so I have come into contact with it. My daughter uses it in her school, and she comes home teaching me all about it, so it's pretty cool. It's a well-known phonemic awareness curriculum, primarily used in preschool through to 2nd grade classrooms and for intervention in later grades. It's named after Dr. Michael Heggerty, an educator who created the program to help students develop foundational phonological and phonemic awareness skills, critical precursors to learning to read. It includes short teacher-led lessons designed to be done every day. The lessons are spoken and do not require written materials from students, which is kind of interesting. The lessons focus on skills in a structured way, moving from simpler to more complex. The program emphasizes phonological awareness, particularly rhyming, onset and rhyme, beginning sounds and chunks, blending sounds into words, segmenting words into individual sounds, deleting, adding, and substituting phonemes or sounds, isolating beginning, middle, and ending sounds. So that's Heggerty. Pretty cool. And then we have Learning Without Tears. Learning Without Tears is really, really broad. It's a platform which houses several other programs related to early learning. The programs that it houses include Handwriting Without Tears, which I'm sure you can tell focuses on handwriting, Readiness in Writing, Get Set for School, Phonics, Reading and Me, Building Writers, Keyboarding Without Tears, A to Z for Matman and Me, Decodable Phonics Books. Learning Without Tears' mission is to ensure that the path to student success remains simple and fun. They provide child-friendly, hands-on, innovative instruction for early learning, handwriting, keyboarding, and writing strategies, teaching more than 31 million students in pre-K through 5th grade. Pretty cool. So again, just a very, very brief sort of synopsis of those 3 programs. Take a look at the resources that I posted this week. They'll give you a little bit more of an in-depth understanding. And if there's anything that you think I'm missing, try a little YouTube search of these programs and you can see some teachers in action. I will warn you, Jolly Phonics specifically involves songs. They will get stuck in your head. You've been warned. That's it for me for this week. Again, if there's anything that you need or you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to hear from you. And yeah, have a great week. Thanks.